certain stuff I can let slide with our Spurs this season. But this number one reason, fuck no!
I want some nasty!
Mój dans makam, więc chodź do tańca, gdy krok to szansa i los nam gra. Mam duszę starca, nie umiem walca na palcach hand. Na palcach hand, na palcach hand.
What's good, Spurs Nights? It's your boy, Clan the Spurs fan, and I'm here with a brand new video for you guys. If you could, give me a like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. Now, let's get straight into it. A lot of people have been messaging me. A lot of people have been leaving comments on Bleacher Report, leaving comments on ESPN, talking about Spurs suck. They're not going to do anything. Let me explain why I believe that we are struggling and what I believe we can do to improve. Because a lot of people, I feel like, have been jumping off the bandwagon. Some of these bandwagon fans are really showing themselves. They have been jumping off saying, it's over with the Spurs. Spurs ain't making the playoffs. Guys, relax. There are reasons for the chaos. There are reasons why we are losing. There are reasons that we are not looking our best. And those reasons, for the most part, there's one specific reason that this doesn't apply to, but for the most part, the reasons why the San Antonio Spurs are losing are self-inflicting wounds. They are self-inflicted, and you can fix those. Most of the reasons are self-inflicted. Now, let's go ahead and get straight into it. I have 5 reasons. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't do that. You know when everybody can take their hand and do one by one? I can't do it. I stop at 3. Anyways, here's the 5 reasons why I believe our San Antonio Spurs are struggling. Number 5 is going to be the least amount of my worries, and when I get to 1, I think it's going to be the biggest reason why we have been losing. Now, you start with number 5. Number 5, injuries. That is the elephant in the room. Everybody knows it's the elephant in the room. We have lost DeJounte Murray. We have lost Pau Gasol. We have lost Lonnie Walker. We have lost Derek White. We have lost Rudy Gay at some point. And it is tough on a team, and it's strenuous on a team when they have these players go down and you're trying to implement them back into the system, and then it's a new team and just trying to gel together. And when you have a system like Pops, you have to have chemistry. It is the most important thing. And how do you get chemistry? Is through practice, through the meetings, through the film sessions, through games, through adverse moments during games. And it's tough to develop that chemistry amongst other players if they're constantly hurt or coming back into the offense and going out of the offense. And now this person's going on the bench and this person's starting now, and now we got to implement him. It's tough. And it's been a rough month, really rough month in November. But that is something that hopefully is going to change, because it looks like the only player that is probably definitely going to be out is DeJounte Murray. So we'll still have Derek White. Pau Gasol should be back in next coming weeks. They said he got a fracture in his foot, but he should be back in the next coming of weeks. And on top of that, we have Lonnie Walker coming back, who is huge for us. That's huge, because Lonnie Walker is a scoring machine. And in this day and age of basketball, he could put up numbers if he stayed healthy. So we're going to be okay with injuries. Injuries can only get better. Now, with number 5 out the way, let's go straight into number 4. The number 4 reason why our San Antonio Spurs are struggling, it has to come down to ball movement, not by the bench, but by the starters. When you have injuries like we've had, you need ball movement. You need players to hold each other accountable. You need guys to rally together and say, hey guys, we got this. Or, hey, I trust you with the ball. Hey, I trust you with the ball. Because the fact of the matter is, I'm looking at our starters, and it doesn't seem like they're on the same page at all at times. It seems like sometimes they trust LA, but then sometimes they go away from it, and then sometimes they trust They trust DeMar, then sometimes they go away from it. It drives me crazy. It's like, look, guys, you have to depend on each other. Even Jakob, how he's playing with the second unit, they are passing the ball beautifully. Jakob comes in to the game and plays with some starters. You know what happened? That man had to beg for the ball. They would not hand it to him. He was in the paint, had people posted up like, hey, give me the ball. Come on, I want to move the ball. Let's get it going. Even when he got the ball, he got rid of it fast. A starter gets the ball, they hold on to it. They don't know what to do with it. They're hesitant to pass. That cannot work, and that cannot go down for us to get any type of success in the future. It cannot happen that way. So number 4 has to be ball movement amongst the starters. The bench ball movement has been great. And I understand with the injuries, you know, that it makes it a little tougher to start trusting your teammates, but you just have to. You just have to. Right now, we're number 1 in the league as far as turnovers. We're not turning the ball over. So that's fine. We're not turning the ball over. But with that comes a little room to try to make more passes. There's no reason why the Spurs, it's almost like we're number 1 in turnover battle, with the turnover battle, right? But then we're not passing the ball at all. I wouldn't mind sacrificing 2 extra turnovers or 3 extra turnovers if it meant the totality of the game our San Antonio Spurs are passing the rock. That's just me. Now, number three reason why our San Antonio Spurs are struggling, it has to come in the hands of our guy, LaMarcus Aldridge. Look, I don't mean to blame a lot on LaMarcus Aldridge. And number 3, I know that's high. That's right in the middle. I know. But last season, LaMarcus Aldridge set the bar so high. He played so great. He was on this level. I mean, people were talking about he could potentially be an MVP candidate at times. That's how good he was playing. He put the team on his back. He said, yo, fuck Kawhi, my team now. And he played aggressive. This season, not so much. You have to score. You know the stat by now. If he scores 20 points, we are 9-0. That's not a lot of points to score with LaMarcus Aldridge and with a NBA that plays small ball. It is not a lot of points for LaMarcus Aldridge to put up. Trust me. He could put, the way that they officiate the games today, he could put up 10 from free throw line alone. It just comes down to LaMarcus Aldridge and his mental battle between him and another guy being a star on the team. It has strained this team so much, and he has to do better. So number 3 has to be LaMarcus Aldridge. Let's get into number 2. We are winding it down. Number 2, the second reason why our San Antonio Spurs are struggling so much is one word. And that word is the word of the motherfucking day. That one word is aggression. They're not aggressive enough on defense. They're not aggressive enough for rebounds. They're not aggressive enough on offense. They're not aggressive enough when they're communicating with each other. Aggression is the second reason why we are struggling so much. You have to show the ultimate effort. And when you do not, it shows. We are 27th in the league with points in the paint. 27th, guys. 27. That is terrible. San Antonio Spurs in any season should not be 27th with points in the paint. What that tells me is that you're not driving the ball enough. You're not getting in the lanes enough. And I know a lot of people say, well, when you got Bellinelli and Bryn Forbes, they're not able to drive. Okay, you got DeMar DeRozan and you got LaMarcus Aldridge. That's enough. I'm sorry, that is enough. If you're aggressive, you get in that paint regardless. Even DeMar DeRozan, I've seen him steer back from trying to get in the paint. And that's where he's naturally great at. People don't know this. DeMar DeRozan is known as a mid-range scorer. But when he was coming up, in Compton, he was known for his dunks. He was known for getting in the paint. That's why you see flashes of DeMar DeRozan doing those 360 spins and doing those dunk-ons, because that's his natural ability. That's his natural God-given ability, is his ability to get in the paint. LaMarcus Aldridge, you got to do better. Everybody got to do better. Derek White showed the other game that he's capable of getting in the paint and making something happen. Jakob has shown that he's a good paint presence. When you're 27th in the league with points in the paint, that's just aggression. That's just not getting to the basket. Now that's on offense. Let's talk about defense. We are 24th in the league on defensive rating. That's not good. Defense is effort. Defense is talent and skill at the same time, but defense is effort. And when you're not putting up the appropriate effort and aggression on defense, it also shows, man. It also shows. Next thing you know, teams that you shouldn't lose against, you're losing against. It's bad. And I don't want to hear all these discussion where, well, the Spurs just can't play defense because Murray's gone. That's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Because I've seen games throughout this season. It was a 2-week stretch where the Spurs were playing ultimate defense. Teams weren't getting these easy baskets in the paint. They weren't getting these easy jumpers. They play ultimate defense. So we're capable of doing it, but it all comes down to aggression. When you're not aggressive on defense, you're not going to be aggressive on offense. When you're not aggressive on offense, you're not going to be aggressive on defense. It is all the same. And when you're aggressive, that comes more free throws. That comes beating down. That comes beating down your opponent. And what comes with that is having your guys wide open when you're constantly beating them up in the paint. Because guys going to have to shrink in. Just like what I say about LaMarcus Aldridge, you got to be more aggressive. The whole team has to be more aggressive. So that is definitely the second reason why we are struggling. Woo! All right. Let's get into it. And before I get into the number one reason why our San Antonio Spurs are struggling, parental advisory, I'm going to rant. Because this reason alone is one of the biggest NBA basketball sports sins you can commit. And it drives me nuts. Certain stuff I can let slide with our Spurs this season. But this number one reason, fuck no! You cannot do this. The number one reason why our San Antonio Spurs are struggling is that they are underestimating their teams. They are underestimating who they are going against. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot underestimate teams. You cannot go into these games with the mindset that you're just going to win. No more can you do that. Especially in the NBA. You cannot do that. Now hold on. Shit pissed me off. Hold on. I actually wrote down, check it out. I wrote down the games in which we lost and the games in which we won. You're going to see a trend here. Now, stay with me now. All right? Now, check this out. Here are a few games that we lost. And it's going to sound crazy. And I'm going to tell you how much we lost by. We lost to the Indiana Pacers 116-96. How, Spurs? We lost to the Portland Trail Blazers 121-108. And I only let that one slide because the Trailblazers are good. But we go down to the next loss, right? We lose to the Orlando Magic 117-110. You should not lose to the Orlando Magic. You lose to the Miami Heat 95-88. You should not lose to the Miami Heat. You lose to the Sacramento Kings 140-99. You should not lose to the Sacramento Kings. You lose to the Phoenix fucking Suns, the worst damn team in the West, 116-96. You got spanked by the Suns. You cannot do that. This is underestimating your opponent, guys. You lose to the Clippers, and that's I'm not going to get too upset about the Clippers because the Clippers are good. You lose to them 116 to 111. So thus far with the games that I've mentioned, the only ones I can excuse are Portland and the Clippers. Okay? Now, we go down. We go to the New Orleans Pelicans. You shouldn't lose to the Pelicans, but you lost to the Pelicans 140 to 126. You gave up 140 points. Now, you go to Memphis. I'm not mad about Memphis because that was a tough game and you were gritty and you came to play. So it was 104 to 103. You lost to them. You lose to Milwaukee Bucks. You came to play. All right, you're going to see a trend here. Just give me a second. You lose 135 to 129. Now, you lose to the Timberwolves, the same team that you beat at the beginning of the season. You lose to them 128 to 89. That is the third worst loss Popovich has ever suffered, guys. You cannot do that. Now, I mentioned all these teams that you lost against. It was only three. No, yeah, it was only three that I really excused. So most of the losses are not okay. They're not okay. Now, let's get into the wins. You won against the Los Angeles Lakers, 143 to 142 in overtime. You worked your ass off for that game. You came to play for that one. Then you win against Los Angeles Lakers again. You came to play for that one, 110 to 106. Y'all came to play. You go against the Dallas Mavericks. That's your rival. You came to play, 113 to 108. Now, you win against the Phoenix Suns earlier, 120 to 90. That's what you should do. Later on, you lose to them by a crazy amount. You win against the New Orleans Pelicans. You didn't underestimate them at first, 109 to 95, right? Now, you go against the Houston Rockets. This is 2 losses later. Houston Rockets. You came to play for that game. Damn, you came to play for that game. You won 96 to 89, right? Then you go down to the Golden State Warriors. This is 3 losses later. You lost against Sacramento, Phoenix, and the Clippers, and then you go against Golden State and you win 104 to 92. Then you go against the New Orleans Pelicans and you lose. Memphis, you lose. Indiana Pacers, you lost to them earlier, so you came to play and you win. It's a trend, guys. Chicago Bulls, you barely win. You shouldn't even won the Chicago game the way you played. The trend that I'm seeing here is that you're underestimating your opponents. You are underestimating who you're going against. When it's a game where you think that you need to get up and play, you play. You look great. When you go against the Lakers, you go and you fight hard. When you went against the Warriors, you fought hard. Even a couple of these games you lost against the Memphis Grizzlies, you fought. But you cannot excuse. There's no excuse for this. You cannot go against these teams that you should win against and you lose. We are not as bad as them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh. But yes, those were the top 5 reasons why our San Antonio Spurs are struggling. I know we can get it together. And like I said, 4 of those reasons are self-inflicted wounds. You can do better, guys. And you can get it together. But you cannot have lack of effort on that floor, especially with all these new players. You're better than that. But if you guys could, please give me a like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and I appreciate all the love. Until next time, Spurs Night.